Hey gang, welcome to episode 9 of the Witch Awakening podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Rippey, a spiritual and awakening coach for witchy women who want to heal old wounds, tap into their desires, and manifest their most magical life. Okay, today I want to talk about being a full-time witch who doesn't meet the stereotypes of witches. Guys. So here's the thing. It's October, right? Witch season, or so they say. To me, every season is witch season. I embody being a witch year-round, and I don't just bring it out in October for marketing or jumping on the witchy bandwagon. This is a way of life for me, and it always kind of bothers me ever since I've kind of come out of the witchy closet, out of the broom closet, so to speak. Every year, the amount of people that parade their witchiness out in October, I'm a witch, look at all my witchy stuff, right? And it's just like, why do you have to parade it out for everyone? Okay, we'll get into that. But I've been a practicing witch for about 3 years now. At first, very much in secret and only using my craft in certain ways. And never would tell anybody I was doing it. I was just doing it. And never would I use the word witch to identify myself. Little did I know that I was born a witch. It's in my blood and it's deep in my soul. It's part of who I am. But I didn't feel like I could use the term witch to label myself. And let's talk about why. We're going to get into this. All right, so witch stereotypes. I didn't fit them, like most of them. And I want to preface everything I'm going to say after this with, if these feel great to you and they're your jam, rock on, witchy sister. These are just things that don't fit with me. And after I tell you what they are, then I will explain the power that they were holding over me. Okay, so the first thing, for starters, I like black, but I love to wear colorful clothing. I like to be bright and crazy and sequins and glitter, and I like to express myself through my clothes, right? I've always had a very unique style to the way I dress. I used to wear old vintage tuck shirts from the 70s, like those ruffled tuck shirts. Do you remember those from the 70s? And it was like a mint green one that I so loved and I wore it all the time. I used to wear spectator shoes, the black and white, wingtips. Love them. I've always had very unique style choices, and they were always bright and crazy, never hiding in the shadows of black clothes. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a gorgeous black dress and outfit now and again, but for the most part, you're always going to find me in all different colors. And I own that now. I'm a witch who doesn't just wear all black all the time. If that's your jam, like I said before, rock on. I love that for you. I am not judging anybody who does it, but for me, completely doesn't fit, right? And again, I'm going to tell you why all of these held power over me when I'm done telling you what they are, okay? So the next thing is being really kitschy about my witch's hat, broom, cat, home decor, etc. What I mean by that is, okay, first of all, I love all of those things in mini doses, right? I have a witch's hat. I will, guess what? It's sequins, and it is black, but it has gold stars on it. It's not all black. And I will pop it on from time to time for an event or whatever. But honestly, I'm not one to put on my hat to perform magic or rituals. I'm not one that feels like I need to dress up as a witch on the outside. Wearing the black flowy robes. Like I said, I am all for that, and I do love that once in a while. I do love to have a witchy vibe once in a while and really embrace it on the outside as well as the inside, right? But to me, being a witch is who I am on the inside. And that's more important to me, right? I don't want people to get offended by this. I'm not trying to put anyone down that, that is your jam. I'm just telling you what resonates with me. And for me, it's more of an inside job. I am a powerful witch, and I don't need to look the part or put on a picture or a show for others, right? My magic is powerful, and that's all that I need to know. Okay, speaking of cats, I kind of hate them. There, I said it. Look, I owned a black cat named Hal, short for Halloween, like 20 years ago. And he was a dick. I moved into a tiny apartment, and so my dad ended up taking him because it was just too small to have an animal. And my dad ended up raising him the rest of his life. But I felt that call to be a cat person, right? Witchy Stereotypes, right? And I didn't even know back at the time that was what I was doing. I even picked a black one. There was no conscious, I didn't do that on purpose. It was just the one I liked. But I had to get real honest with myself that I'm not a cat person. I don't like them very much. I'm not much of an animal person in general, but definitely not much of a cat person. So no cat familiar for me. We'll have to pick something else. Another thing that I've never felt connected to was keeping a book of shadows. If you don't know what a book of shadows is, it is a book of some kind, a journal, a special book that you make, whatever, that you write down special spells or ingredients that you've used or rituals you performed, and it's kind of a witchy diary in the simplest of terms. And you're never supposed to show anybody because it's like if you show anybody, like, you lose your power. I don't remember what the legend is, but it's something that you're supposed to, like, in theory, pass on to the next generation of witches. Well, I don't feel called to do this. I never have. My spells are my spells. They're different literally every time I do them. I work very intuitively for every situation. So there's never been a spell that I have, like, repeated or even wanted to. To me, each one is very personal and individualized. And I think the Book of Shadows idea is awesome. And I love seeing what other people do with them. I know you're not supposed to share them, but close witches will when they feel safe. So if that's your thing, like, totally do it. I mean, it's an artistic way of expressing your, witchy side. But I just don't feel connected to that part. Partly because I think, number one, I'm not that connected to art as a medium, like, especially physical art. And so, or like scrapbooking or anything, none of that is my jam. So, the Book of Shadows can be kind of that kind of feel to it. But yeah, not something that I've ever felt connected to. So I don't do it. I don't have one. I don't do it. Another thing is keeping track of the moon cycle and only performing certain rituals or spells at certain times. I truly believe that when you feel called to perform a certain act, it is the right time for it to be done. If I felt called to do a spell but noticed that it needed to be done on the full moon, which wasn't for 2 weeks, why would I wait 2 weeks? The moment has passed. The intention has faded. The passion's gone away. Therefore, the spell loses its power, right? So I love and encourage anyone who feels pulled to work certain things at certain times. Go for it. By all means, do it. It feels aligned. But that has never sat right for me personally. So I just do my work when the moment hits. regardless of like the moon cycle or the day of the week or the color of candle that I'm using or any of the other things that people get hung up on when doing spells. Like I said, I work very intuitively. So when I get the hit to do a certain spell, I just go ahead and do it because I'm getting the intuitive message that it needs to be done at that time. So that's when I do it. But again, if you feel aligned to having more ritual to your practice, that's completely, that works for you. That's awesome, right? It just doesn't work for me. So, there are times when I use the moon cycle to my advantage. If there's a certain spell, if it's really close, like the next day or something, I for sure will sometimes wait like another day to do the spell if it's really close. But if it's like a couple weeks away, there's no way I'm waiting that long because first of all, I'll probably just forget. Second of all, my heart won't be in it, my heart won't be in it, which means my spell will lose its power. So I just go for it. Okay, well, there are probably more, but these are some of the big ones for me. And let me tell you what, these held a lot of power over me for a really long time. When I was exploring being a witch and opening up to my craft and trying to start an active practice, I was asking the people in my circles that I knew were actively practicing witches for advice and asking them about their practice and like being a witch and how that looks for them, and just started really exploring the different ways that being a witch can be expressed, right? I started feeling a huge judgment from the active witch community. Man, it was intense. I don't look like a witch. I don't quote unquote act like a witch, right? So I felt that judgment, you guys. And intentional or not, it is a very big part of the witchy community. There is a lot of judgment in this community, spoken and unspoken. Some people will actively call you out and criticize what you're doing. Some people will internally judge you for what you're doing or not doing or how you're doing it. So watch out for that if that is something that you are coming into the community and learning and growing and embracing your witchyhood. Just know that there is a lot of judgment in this community, and you just have to be really, I guess, willing to keep looking for people that will accept you no matter what. Like myself, I don't judge people for the way they do or do not do things or how they do it or why they do it. Rock on, man. Do your thing. It's everyone's practice is personal and different. And I can't imagine why we want to judge people for that. Like, they're doing what they feel aligned to do. And, whether it works out in their best interest or not, it's their life, it's their path. They, chose that way. So, what will be, right? Listen, because of all this judgment, I felt judgment from myself. I didn't fit into the molds. I didn't feel connected to them. So I started thinking things like, what's wrong with me? I must not be a real witch, right? Am I a poser? Like, what's going on, right? But I felt such a strong pull to be a witch. But I just wouldn't allow myself to call myself a witch because of the self-doubt and the judgment that I felt from myself and from others. I finally found a few witchy mentors, though, who were saying, you know what, it's okay to do you, boo, right? It is so different for everyone. Everyone's way of practicing is unique, and it should be. You don't have to fit into these stereotype molds to be authentic. And that was powerful. It made me realize, like, fuck yeah, my magic is powerful, y'all. My clients and my enemies will tell you so. I mean, I have testimonial after testimonial of people that I perform spells for saying, whoa, powerful shit. Now, I didn't need that validation, but it has amped my confidence level up so high that I now have no self-doubt when it comes to me being a witch and the powers that I have. Right? So, if you're feeling the pull into the craft, join us. I, for one, welcome you with no judgment, stereotypes or not. I don't care if you're wearing black. Rock on if you are, rock on if you're not. Right? Like, do you. Do you the way that feels comfortable for doing you. So that is what I have for you today. Be sure to connect with me over on Facebook in the Witch Awakening Facebook group. I'll put the link to that in the show notes. Head over to the group and tell me, what witchy stereotypes do you not fit into? And what kind of judgment have you faced because of it? Even if it's from yourself. I want to hear your experiences with that. Okay, so things I have going on right now in my world. I have a masterclass all about healing past traumas and releasing self-doubt and fear that keep us stuck, that keep us playing small, keep us from living our most magical lives. Hello. It's called Screw Your Self-Doubt. Enrollment is open now. This will be a live program. And guys, I haven't run a live program in several years. So get it while the getting's good. Class will be on October 22nd at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you can't make it live, no worries. There is going to be a replay, so don't feel like you're going to miss out. You will still get the yummy goodness sent to you if you want to participate. Head on over to www.melissarippey.com/screwdoubt to get all of the juicy details and to get signed up for that Screw Your Self-Doubt Masterclass, live masterclass. So excited for this, you guys. You have witchy trauma? Come on, let's heal it, right? Let's get rid of it. We will be doing all kinds of fun things there, so go check that out. Get signed up. I would love to see you in there. Start healing some of this witchy trauma that most of us have for lifetimes. Because let's face it, being a witch is all about persecution, and it still is. Like we were talking about earlier, there is still a lot of that going on. It just isn't with like pitchforks and burning us at the stake and those kinds of things. So, but, words can hurt and those can be just as painful. So let's get healing that. Get rid of that self-doubt and get you on your witchy journey, your most magical life. Let's do that together. So head over there and do that. Thanks for joining me today. I will see you next time. Be sure to subscribe so you can get notified when new podcasts are uploaded, and leave a review over on iTunes if you feel led to. That lets them know that you love us and you love the podcast, and it gives us a boost so others can find us. All right, stay magical, and I will talk to you soon.